I'm Elohor Thomas. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Codeln. At Codeln, we help companies seamlessly recruit skilled African software engineers. In one sentence, I would say that technology is the key to solving global problems. So I think that girls are not choosing the field because, in a way, I would say maybe they are scared and they feel it's too hard. I think it's just a concept around their mindset that they feel that technology is for guys. I mean, maybe society has made them think that way. I mean, generally people say guys are meant for the tougher things. So yeah, I think it's an impression in them that they have that this is a field for guys, and it's really dominated by guys anyway. So I think that there should be more ladies in technology because I personally my company works a lot with software engineers, and in teams where they are female, like our own CTO is a female, right? There's a lot of I don't know how to put it. The energy is there, but in terms of people that are in tech, people that code a lot, they don't know how to get out of their zone. Sometimes they are so much into their zone that they don't know how to get out. So having females around would really encourage the team to know when to rest or when to have a bit of fun and then when to go back to coding.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome back to another episode. This is your host, Davey Kim. Hello. Thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Let's get started by telling the audience a little bit about yourself and your background and how you came to launch and are learning your venture CodeLNn.
Yes, correct. So, I would say for my journey, I have a background in maths and engineering. I have a BSc in industrial mathematics and an MSc degree in systems engineering with a major in artificial intelligence. So I would say my educational background is mostly in science and engineering, but I've always had this drive for entrepreneurship, for doing my own thing and then running a business. So while I was in school, I ventured into doing some businesses, and then having worked for a while, I decided it was time for me to start my own thing. And of course, the best way to go about it is marrying my knowledge in technology with the business skills that I had gathered, right? So in 2017, my team and I started working on Codeln. So a team of four, a Pan-African team of four, really smart people, I would say. So myself from Nigeria, Felicia from Kenya, Dennis from Kenya as well, and then Dexter from Ivory Coast. So we went for the MEST Accelerator program in Ghana, and that's where we met. So I think one peculiar thing about us is we have a background in engineering as well, and software development. So we're like, okay, what if we can solve a problem in our field, and then a problem that we had the expertise to solve, of course. And then we started talking about hiring software engineers, and we realized that the general problem or issue of hiring software engineers is common across our various countries, right? And then, of course, there's a saying that only an engineer can identify a good engineer. So we thought about ways in which we can mitigate issues around this area and make the process of hiring more efficient, and of course help more fellow software engineers like ourselves gain access to global opportunities. So we kicked off, I think, officially in 2018, and I would say that the company is a little bit over 2 years right now, but I mean we've achieved great feats so far.
I got you. You already mentioned about the challenge and difficulty in finding and hiring the software engineer in Africa or Nigeria. But would you please describe again what are couple of the major challenges in finding and hiring software engineer in Nigeria or in Africa?
So for this, it depends on the size of the company. So I'll give two examples, right? So if it's a small business, from our research which we did, if it's a small business, it can be a number of things. It can be, for example, a startup founder not knowing where to find skilled talent. It can be the issue of how to identify a good software engineer, especially if the person is not a techie, right? How to know that this person can deliver on the job, how to even structure my project or set timelines for my project and know when deliverables can be done, what to pay a software engineer, you know. But I think one thing that we realize is general across all size of companies is the long time to hire. So that's the term in recruitment, right? So for hiring software engineers or if for a key tech role, it takes an average of 3 months to fill up a key tech role. That's from the point where the vacancy is posted to the point where the candidate is onboarded, which is a very long time. Honestly speaking, unlike other non-technical roles, right? So then when you now go to bigger corporates, right, they have amidst all of these issues, they also have the challenge of having too many applications, right? As much as a startup founder and entrepreneur might not know where to find software engineers, but if a big corporate, for example, a bank posts a vacancy for a tech role, there are thousands and thousands of people applying because they know that this company is going to pay well. So then the HR department has the issue of, okay, there are too many applications. How do I sieve through this application and identify a good fit and not like mistakenly misqualify an ideal candidate, right? So it's a number of issues, and then it's a number of issues. But when you're looking at one that is common to both small companies and big companies, the long time to hire. So that's why we built a solution that automates the entire recruitment process, cutting down that 3 months period to 2 weeks. So the automation brings about speed. And of course, we also have a proprietary software solution. It's called Clyde, which is used to verify the skill of software engineers, so to validate the skills of potential hires. So even in bigger corporates, they have the issue of, okay, how do I identify that a software engineer can deliver on the job, right? So having a platform that tests for the programming skills of the software engineer using the best practices and standards for each programming language reduces the risk of a bad hire, so to say.
I got you. So
Mm.
is it internet-based platform or do you have an app on the smartphone? Do you have a
So,
is it internet-based platform?
yes, exactly. It
Okay,
is.
I see.
Mm,
Then my next question is that you already explain about the major challenge in hiring, finding software
mm,
engineer in Africa. But
yeah,
by using your platform, what are the
mm,
problem you are solving? Specifically, how are you solving the
mm,
problem for your customer, client?
mm,
And then what
okay,
are the major service feature of your platform you are offering?
mm.
Can you walk me through the step by
Mm.
step?
So ideally, the platform is a web platform. We have a mobile application, but I'll speak about that later. So for the web application, to help reduce the time to hire, we automated the entire process, right? So ideally, a recruiter, that's the person that wants to hire a software engineer, comes to the platform, they post their job in less than 3 minutes, and then we already have a database of candidates of software engineers. We have over currently a database of over 13,000 software engineers. So once the
How
job is
many?
posted,
How many?
13,000,
13,000.
13,000, correct.
That's a lot.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, we had to take, so part of our strategy was our first year of operation, we focused on the talent side because, I mean, if you're going to make a business out of this, you have to go to the client and say, okay, I have so and so number of candidates, you can get your ID candidate for me. So during our first year of operation, we focused on gathering the talent acquisition side. So for the platform, yeah, so they sign up, they post their job. So the application picks the skills that have been specified on the job and matches them to candidates that have such skills on the platform. So immediately a job is posted, you see recommendation. Recommendation system shows you candidates that have those skills. So you can go through the candidates if you want to test them. Like I mentioned, we have a proprietary software solution. You can test them still on the same platform, and then you can move them from stage. So we have an applicant tracking system, which you can use to move them from one stage to the other during the recruitment process. And then you can even present an offer letter. That's if this is a remote role. You can present an offer letter on the platform for the candidates to work on. But for the engineers, it's just as simple as signing up. And we have quizzes, we have learning resources, we have a project-based assessment to help them improve on their skills
and then test their skills as well. Then that's for the web app. So for the mobile app, we have a platform that's called CodeLNn. So this is built, this is inbuilt. It's not an app that will be downloaded. It comes with any phone that has Android 10 and above, and I think iOS 8 and above, right? Because we built it on Google Assistant. So it's kind of like an AI learning assistant for candidates that want to learn. It's a voice activated learning assistant. So I think for us, this was more like an impact project because we wanted to carry on the digital, we wanted to help people with disabilities, particularly blind and autistic people, so that they don't get left behind in the digital era or learning digital skills. So because it's voice activated, they can learn with it, whether they are slow to learning or they are having challenges with their sight. So yeah, and of course, yeah, we have the remote cooling that helps people manage the processes of their projects. But in general, I would say the automation of the platform helps to reduce the time to hire from 3 months to 2 weeks. And then our proprietary testing platform helps to reduce the skill of help to reduce the risk of a bad hire. And then for us, I would say we are passionate about what we do. So our candidates are mostly Africans. So we are trying to help African software engineers gain access to um, global opportunities, so to say.
Sounds very
Mm,
interesting and impressive. So you realized by your platform, I mean web platform,
mm,
you realized the interactive virtual site where the your client and I mean talk
yeah,
and review the potential candidate and then interact
exactly.
them and test them on the virtual environment.
Exactly. Yes.
Yeah, that sounds great. Yeah.
Thank you.
Well, I read an interesting description of a business. I think
Mm,
I'm not sure whether it comes from the website or somewhere else.
mm,
Mentioned that we offer the best approach to recruiting the software developer by automating
yeah.
entire process, thereby cutting down the technical recruitment time by
Fine.
70%. How did the
Correct.
70% come from?
Okay. So, like I mentioned, from 3 months to 2 weeks, if you look at that, that's around 70 to 80%, right? So ideally, this is what a recruiter would go through. They would post a job on maybe other recruitment, other free ads platform, or it could be paid as well. And then, or on their website, they receive applications, they sift through applications. Now, depending on the size of the company, this process can even take longer than 3 months. And then you interview the candidates, for example, first stage, just a normal interview, next stage, a technical interview, of which the technical interview, you can spend around 2 hours on a single candidate. Imagine you get 200 candidates and you say, okay, you reduce the list to, you pre-screen them to around 50. So imagine spending 2 hours on each candidate just to validate their technical skills, right? Then at the end of the day, you get to hire perhaps one person, but maybe you did not do your analysis very well. And the thing with tech hiring is you do not know, you might not be able to immediately tell that this candidate is good if you do not have technical skills or if you do not verify their skills the right way. And when the person is hired, you wouldn't know that this person cannot deliver on the skills until about 1 to 2 months after the person has been employed, when you can't see a working feature, right? So you can see code on the person's laptop, but you can't see a working feature, right? So all of these processes we have cut down by down to 2 weeks because we are testing them even before you come to us and say you want to hire. So we are cutting down that 2 hour per person test already. We have a rich list already of candidates, over 13,000, like I mentioned. So there's no way we would not find your ideal candidate in the pool of candidates we have already. So when you look at all of the process you would go through as a company or as a startup founder, and we have done the work for you. We're just saying, okay, meet these candidates, validate their cultural skill. That is the remaining 30%, right? And see if they fit your team, right? Look into their soft skill. Then you can now we just recommend to you, and then you can now make the final hiring decision. We don't tell you to hire this person. We give you a list, and then we help you. We give you a list of candidates that are technically sound, and then we leave you to make your decision.
I think in my immediate thinking after hearing what you explained, there might be
Mm.
opportunity outside Africa as well. right?
Yes,
Needs and
yes,
demand
yes.
of software company. They
Mm,
usually I mean they go through the hiring process in a very
mm,
old-fashioned way, right? They receive the
mm-hmm,
resume, CV, and
mm,
then do the
mm,
interview, but
mm-hmm,
they don't have interactive testing and then I mean
mm-hmm.
discussion process as you
Exactly.
realize through the platform. Yeah, I think
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
it has good potential on the high level, I guess. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So the problem of hiring, especially specifically for tech skills, I would say is a global problem. Even currently, we've worked with clients in Europe, we've worked with clients in US, specifically Europe, USA, and Southern America, right, to help them hire as well. So yes, we are solving a global problem, and we are taking it at least one step at a time.
It's helping solve the problem of your clients. I mean, what is your
Mm.
business model? How you make money?
Okay, so for us, the candidates do not pay us, right? But the clients pay us because we are going through a robust process or screening process for them. So we build a certain commission on the programmer's annual gross salary, which is kind of like a standard worldwide. That's how recruitment firms charge. So yeah, that's the model we've been working on.
So you are getting the commission from the client or from employee,
Yes.
potential employee, or from
No,
client,
so from the client, yes. So it's a source,
client,
it's more like a success fee. A
a
one
success fee.
whenever, yes. So whenever you come to hire from us, for example, we could give you a list of 5 to 10 candidates. If you get to hire from the list, then you pay us a certain commission on the candidate's annual gross salary. So this is a one-time payment. It's not like yeah, a continuous payment.
Where I mean your client based now? In the most of them in Africa or the also outside Africa?
So I would say 80% of them within Africa and cuts across Nigeria, Ghana, Kenya, South Africa, and then the remaining 20% Europe and the US,
I see.
specifically, yeah, Europe and US.
But generally, from by providing this kind of services, I guess if they
Mm,
have a continued demand and need to hire the
mm,
software engineers over
mhm,
time, I think they're willing to
mm.
pay the subscription fee.
Yes, yes. And part of the things we strive for is retention, right? So
Right.
if you deliver a very good service, this client will want to come again because I mean we are getting this is a digital era already. There was a report by Microsoft that said there will be over 145 million new technology jobs in 2025, right? So the chances are these clients will always come back again. So we estimate a minimum of 3 times higher for each of our clients. So we want them to always keep coming back.
I got you. I heard about the reputation of Andela. That's a business process outsourcing for the software engineer, right? Correct?
Yes, yes, yes.
Yeah. Are they based in Nigeria?
Mm,
My
okay.
question is Andela currently your client?
So I would say Andela can be more like a yeah, they can be our clients because Andela does outsourcing. Right. So
Right.
what it means is that the engineers belong to them, then they outsource to companies. Right. So
Right.
yes, Andela can hire from us. As a matter of fact, we've spoken to them in the past. And then are they a if you're looking at the competitive space, you can also see them as our competitor as well because I mean we are providing
That's what I
engineering
thought.
talent.
That's what I thought.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. But if you look at the kind of business we do, there are different stages in the value chain. So
Right.
Anela is addressing the outsourcing stage, while we are more like a placement company. So we are addressing the recruitment space. The engineer, we don't for now we don't do outsourcing, right? The engineer does not have to belong to us. So the engineer works directly with the client. It could be for on a contract basis, it could be for a remote job, or it could be a full-time job, right? So that's the value chain we are addressing. What Adela addresses outsourcing. There are people that address tech training. So there's a lot of value across the chain. You just pick what suits you best or what you have the strongest practice to do based on your team strength and of course the vision of the company, and then you address it.
Yeah, that's what I imagine. I mean, before we have interview today, I thought it's
Mhm.
looking at your business model. Maybe you
Yeah,
can serve Andela as a client today, but
exactly.
in terms of value chain and growth strategy map, you need to expand in terms of product and services and geographic market, right? Over
Yes,
time,
exactly.
then you have a better capability to find and hire the software engineer. Only thing
mm,
you need to add up is in project management and then reaching out
mm,
the client in the
mm.
international company, right? So
Yes,
yeah,
exactly.
that's what I thought. Yeah. Okay,
Mm-hmm.
got you.
Mm-hmm.
Learning from small mistake and trial and error are most important part of entrepreneurship, I think.
Mm-hmm.
What
Yeah.
has what agree?
Yeah, I
Yeah.
agree. Trust
And
me, I
then
do.
you need to, I mean, there is no one right answer for entrepreneur.
Yeah.
You cannot learn that right answer by attending MBA. I don't believe that. And
I
the
do.
only way for you to grow the business, make success,
Mm,
you try million times, you pivot business
mm-hmm.
model a million times. No right answer
Mm-hmm.
for that, right? So,
Exactly.
yeah, what has been biggest mistake you had
Mm,
while running a startup so
mm,
far, and how did you deal with that situation? What is the lesson
mm,
learned from that?
mm.
Can you share
Okay.
with us?
Oh yeah. So in terms of mistake, we are kind of young to make it like tons of mistake right now, but yes, we have made mistakes and we've learned from it. I would say the earliest mistakes we made was, like I mentioned, we're like a team of software engineers. So we were super excited about the technology. We're like, okay, we're going to build this super high tech, cool,
Right.
robust
I'm
system
very
that will
familiar.
help,
That's
you
a very
know?
familiar situation. Yes. Super
Yeah.
excited about yourself, right? About the idea is
Exactly.
excited.
Uh-huh.
Because
Uh-huh.
I used to mentor and then lecture
Mm.
in MBA in Hong Kong as an
Oh.
outside lecturer. And then
Mm.
when I mean, mentor them, work with
Mm.
a startup venture team from the MBA university. First
Mhm.
thing is they are very excited about their own idea.
I'm
So
telling
I
you.
cannot give an idea. I cannot give advice to fix that.
Yeah, yeah. Like it takes a while for you to now learn that okay, this is how I want to correct this. But then again, it's still a learning process. So in our own case, we're super excited. We're like, we're going to solve this problem. We're going to build the next big thing in Africa, you know. So we're more excited about the product, and then we kept building and building. But I think we didn't pay so much attention to user feedback, right? Because we just assume that okay, if it's technology is solving your problem, why won't you use it, right? But at the time we went to launch and then we started hearing feedback, it's platform that seemed very simple to us because we are tech people was seeming kind of a little bit complicated for the user. So we're like, why are these people not getting it? Right. First it was the design, the UX process. We're like, why are these people not getting it? It's just very simple in our eyes. But then we learned that the hard way that because we didn't have a lot of users using the platform, and then but we had a good feedback system, so people were coming to complain to us. This is not working. Even the software engineers, I don't understand how to use this platform. So we're like, okay, guys, let's calm down on the tech and focus on the users, find out what they really need to see in a platform like ours. And then we dropped our ears down, started listening to people's feedback, and we are amazed. We felt that this was going to be a simple system, but it was kind of like too robust for them to understand. So we started integrating user feedback, and at the end of the day, of course, you can't figure it out 100%, but I think we are close. you know. So yeah, that was one of it. And then yeah, business model wise, we wanted to come up with a business model that will be um I would say affordable yet money for value. But soon you realize that if you are running a profitable business, you have to provide focus more on money for value for money rather. So yeah, that was one thing. We tested out different business model, I think, for a year before we decided to follow the standards because when you tell the company that this is how we be, they're like, but I'm not used to this style. So people wanted to go along with what they are familiar with. So why try to reinvent the wheel, right? Why not just give them what they are used to? You can't just push people to accepting change, all of a sudden. And then there's something about Africa, right? You feel that you're building a very sweet, robust technology system, and then you realize that maybe the market is not yet ready for this kind of I won't say complexity, for this kind of robust system, right? So you have to say, okay, fine, how can I scale down this platform so I get users using the platform? So it's one of those many things. But yeah, it's still a good learning experience. We are making mistakes, we are correcting them, and trying not to make too much costly mistakes, of course.
In my opinion, I mean, this is a sort of new services you're offering to your market. Then you need to concentrate on marketing and sales to change the behavior of your customer. Probably your customer clients still are familiar with the old-fashioned way to find and
Yes.
hire. Then the only
Mm,
thing is you need to reach out them and then try to change
mm,
the behavior continuously.
mm.
That's only the way, I think.
Yes,
Yeah.
and educate them
Yeah,
perhaps
educate
on.
them. Yeah,
Yes,
agree. I totally agree.
so, yeah.
Okay, got you. And the next question is growing your venture, taking
Mm,
into the next level in terms
mm,
of value chain, growth stage. What kind
mm,
of skill set, knowledge, talent
mm,
are
mm,
the biggest challenge to acquire uh,
mm,
and difficult to find and hire for your team?
mm,
For example, is
mm,
finance, CFO, sales
mm,
marketing, PR,
mm,
or the
mm,
software engineer, strategy
mm,
guy, or I mean, can
mm,
you share with
mm,
us your experience and about the challenge
mm.
you are having to grow the
Yeah.
company and then taking to the next level?
Okay, so like we mentioned earlier, right? When it comes to technology itself, you have to like change the user behavior and all of it. And still you realize that there are not a lot of people in Africa that can sell a tech solution. Give a salesperson in Nigeria a product, a physical product, for example, even if it's as big as a car or a phone to sell, they can sell it in 1 hour. Like Nigerians, speaking particular about Nigerians are generally, it's more like they are born salespeople because like they are very outspoken. They know how to, we call it whining. They know how to sweet talk you to buying something, which some people can use for the wrong things and then for the right things, right? So naturally, Nigerians are good salespeople. But when it comes to technology, it's hard to find a salesperson that can sell technology because this is not a physical product, right? Someone that has to go to the offices, do demos, things like that. You need more time with the decision makers to do a demo, or someone that has to like go with a phone and describe what your platform does, things like that. So I would say sales has been a bit challenging. They are great salespeople, but salespeople, IT salespeople, that's what they are called, right?
Mm-hmm.
It's a bit challenging to find an IT salesperson. So we've hired a series of people before. We've gone through the process of training, and then you realize that because we like to give them time to see how well they can deliver and also train them. After a quarter, it's still challenging for them to get one client. So this is a general issue. Even my friends that run startups, tech startups, have complained about it. So I don't think we are there yet when it comes to selling an IT solution. But I mean, with time, these things will grow, right? So I would say that's one that has been a bit difficult. And then, of course, senior salespeople, sorry, not sales, senior executives, right? For example, a senior business development officer. So this is not necessarily a challenge; it's just a challenge tied to budget, right? So of course, if you are to hire as a startup, if you are to hire a senior person, someone with, for example, over 5 years or over 8 years to handle something like partnerships or a particular key area in your business, you need to pay them well, right? So for a startup that might not have funding to pay to hire as many senior people as necessary to take the business to the next level, that can be quite a challenge as well. So I think these two areas mostly.
So Nigerians are generally good sales guy, but it is very difficult to find the good sales guy with technology and engineering background.
Mm-hmm.
What can we expect from you this year? And also, what is your long-term vision for
Mm,
the Codeln
mm.
and kind of your end game?
Okay. So for us this year, we're working on a number of things. Like I mentioned, our first year of operation, we got a huge number of talent for the talent acquisition. So what we are doing this year is fast forward. Is We are trying to get more of our candidates connected to job opportunities, be it local or international. As long as, of course, job opportunities that will help them earn a living for themselves, a good living for themselves and their families, right? So we want to, I would say, increase the number of candidates we are placing on jobs beginning from this year, as the focus for this year, well, last year and this year was on the sales side, like you mentioned, right? But of course, COVID came and disrupted some things, but of course, that's still the focus. And then I think immediately this month, we are launching a platform called Remote Codeln. So we built this out of the need for companies to manage their product development. So we noticed that during the COVID lockdown, a lot of companies, especially in Africa, where they placed a pause on their hiring, right? And then we had companies that perhaps did not have a lot of money. They wanted to hire engineers to work on a contract basis. So the challenge then becomes, how do you manage these engineers while they are working on a contract basis? So we built a platform called Remote Codeln that will help them. It's more like a Jira kind of thing, and that will help them manage their software engineer. They can set milestones, pay them in tranches based on milestones completed, things like that. So an automated platform that helps them to manage their team. I think that's the one key product we are releasing this year. Of course, the tech team is still working on a couple of others, which I can't mention right now, but that's one that's ready for launch in this March. And in terms of long-term vision, so if you agree with me, Africa is, or looking at the stats, Africa is like the youngest. I would say has the youngest population, because over 60% of the people in Africa, or the population, is between I would say zero, if that's right, 0 to 35 years. So the youth population is quite long. It's quite high. So we envisage a time when we might not necessarily have enough jobs for talents within Africa. So this is not speaking about tech alone, speaking generally. So we are looking at ways in which we can let the whole world know that, okay, fine, there are young, agile people within Africa that have great skills. How can they work for you remotely? They don't have to relocate, right? So we are trying to, I would say, it's our long-term goal to become the go-to global marketplace for African talents generally. So you need something done, be it if it's a financial project, a business project, we can help you get somebody. Just go to our marketplace, find this person, the person works on it remotely for you. And of course, not this person that has been verified by us and does a great job, right? So yes, that's I would say the future of Codeln.
Got you. Sounds like right direction. Now thanks to that's the upside of COVID-19 situation.
Yes,
People who accepted, willing to change the way we work together, right?
exactly,
So more
exactly.
on the virtuals, like Andela, case of Andela,
Mm,
they grow the business as a BPO for software engineering in Africa. In
mm,
the same way, by leveraging that trend, you can
mm,
grow the business and then
mm.
expand the value chain vertical over time, I guess.
Yes, exactly.
Yeah, very good. Sounds great
Mm,
idea. Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you so much for the taking time and the sharing your story. I'm looking
Mm,
forward to catching up with you again. The
mm,
more, another milestone, the more exciting war story
exactly.
of your success very soon.
Thank you. Thank you so much. It's been a pleasure.
Yeah. Thank you very much for listening to this episode. Don't forget to subscribe to the podcast, share with a friend, and drop me a review. Goodbye.